All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Season 3 of the Lake Norman Business Podcast. Sorry, I host 4 or 5 podcasts and was going to say one of the other ones. So today we have one of the guys I really enjoy talking to is Rich Tomasini, who is I guess he's technically still a realtor, but that's the official title. But he is a real estate agent with eXp Realty that really does not practice real estate too much anymore. So, Rich, thanks for coming on. And I guess to get started, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So who I am, I don't know. I think you'll have to discover that along the way here. I've been in real estate for half of my life, and I'm 42. So you guys can do the public school math on that. And I joined this company, which was a bit of a beta program here in Charlotte, a little over 2 years ago. And I started to grow a team to where we could do something a little different in this industry because it's been pretty stale for a long time. And now at this point, I'm at about 760 agents in 24 states and in 4 countries. I got my partner, Barry Pulver, is out in the UK right now. We just did he just did a full road trip Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and finishes tonight in London explaining the eXp UK model.
So eXp Realty is a real estate company that's different.
Yeah, so it's a real estate company, right? We're the fastest growing real estate company that's ever existed in the industry. We're the 4th biggest in the country and the number 1 office in the Charlotte MLS. And 2 years ago, we were not even known by anybody, really.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fast ramp up, right, Danny? So yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah.
So you hopped into this 2 years ago, and you've gone from stepping in to you now have a team of 750. Did you say?
Yes. I think it was 755 this morning.
That is insane, man.
So that's gone up 50 since the last time I talked to you, which was about a week and a half ago.
That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So tell us. So one of the kind of our focus here on season 3 of the Lake Norman Business Podcast. So our listeners are small business owners. And,
Danny, I apologize. I didn't even say you were here. Like, Danny's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm not very good at introing. That's why I just sit back.
I let Ryan into the show, and first thing he does is introduces it with the wrong name, and then he writes me off the show.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're totally good, man. But so our audience are business owners, all sorts of different industries, right?
Sure.
And one of the things that I think every business owner struggles with is growing a good team, right? Finding quality employees, finding quality team members. And so this season, we're focusing in on one superpower that each of our guests have. And going from 0 to 768 is pretty darn impressive. So talk to us kind of about how do you approach that? How do you go out and find great people and get them on your team?
Okay, so that's a great question. I guess the first thing is that you should probably be great at it so you can at least have their respect, right, or their attention span.
So you mean be great at what you do?
Yeah, because you're going to attract like people. I mean, you'll attract some stray cats along the way. No way around that. But, if you're passionate about what you're doing and you hone your skills and you get better, it will be noticed by you and by other people. And what you want to do is pick out the other people that are strong at what they do that compete against you and find some kind of way to be in an alignment. And it's not always easy. I mean, if I had an HVAC business, I'm certainly not going to call, those 2 guys. What are those 2 guys that are always on TV? Bobby and whatever.
What's it? Morris Jenkins. There you go.
Morris Jenkins. My goodness, right? First of all, they're not my cup of tea anyway, so I want to call them because I don't think that speaks to me, that ad. But nonetheless, it's going to be hard to collaborate in that sense because you're competing against each other. We have a model here at eXp where you can work with the people you want to and not with the people somebody else hired that's in your office. So it's advantageous to finding good quality and there being some possibility to connect with these people. So my intention off the bat was go after all of the agents that are doing all the business. And a lot of them shut me
Seems
down.
like a pretty good strategy. So
yeah, if you meet my wife, you realize I'll shoot above my pay level from time to time.
And so did you think you were going to fail? That is a very ambitious goal. I'm just going to go recruit the best of the best in my area.
Well, I expected to fail, right? My full expectation was that I would fail often enough to get lucky.
That's awesome.
So I did. But I succeeded by accident occasionally.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I'd say that 50% of the time it's because of what we built here, and then the other 50% is because I'm having conversations that speak to the real pains that you have in this business. and they are plentiful.
Yeah. So I think what you're talking about here, it just goes well beyond real estate, just the ability to bring in and build a good team. And so I think a question a lot of people probably have out there is how do you start when it comes to identifying good talent, right? Because, you hear all the horror stories of, business owners who hire somebody and 6 months later they fire them and hire somebody new. And so what do you use sort of as a, I guess, maybe preliminary qualifier to help you identify good people that you want to pursue and bring onto your team?
Well, I don't bring them on my team because I like them. That's just
You're a businessman.
Yeah, that's the icing on the cake. People are hiring people they get warm energy from. It's ridiculous, right? So what you got to do is you got to look at their production, right? And on the MLS, we can find everyone's production. So it's very easy for us to see that they have a track record. Some of the top producing agents are the most difficult people to get along with, right? But I'm here building a business, and I'm really not here to advance my vision. I'm here to advance their vision. So if it's all about them and they're all about them, this can still work.
Mm-hmm. And I think it depends on your industry. If you're not, because you don't work necessarily hand in hand with these guys. You want to get people that can produce real estate, and you want to get people that are kind of they're the top of the top. These guys already have the name recognition for what you're looking for. And so you don't have to necessarily work with them. Like, you're already successful. I don't care how you're successful. Continue being successful on your own path. I just want to be on your team, basically. I want to be in your corner.
I want to be in your corner. Yeah, I mean, so my whole vision is to advance the vision of the people that decide to join this with me. And they're different. And we have to scratch that itch. And it's actually interesting to have to work with people that you don't naturally have chemistry with, because you can build it based off respect. My wife and I have a better relationship because of our respect level than we do because of our fondness for each other, right? Not to say that we don't have a ton of fondness for each other, but those ebb and flow. But respect, pretty steadfast.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating, man, because I feel like that's kind of it's perfectly logical, but it's kind of counterintuitive for a lot of business owners who, as you said, probably more want to just hire friends that they enjoy like hanging out with. But what you just described comes with some challenges too. So how do you navigate when you may have high producers on your team, but you're kind of butting heads because they've got strong opinions, you've probably got strong opinions. Like, how do you kind of bridge that gap?
Based on, so there's a lot of Six Sigma training in this stuff where you can kind of get through things with the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs to the side, and kind of move the needle on conversations. But I think the most important thing is that if they have trust in your logic and trust in your intention, you can probably get through difficult conversations where they have to compromise. The other thing I think is quite important when you're hiring, back to your initial question, because I think I went down a rabbit hole a bit there, was understanding the personality types, right? So you can do any DISC personality type or type A. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet, and they all speak to the same thing in the sense that we have different components within our personality type that lend themselves to be good at different roles. So if you have a very top salesperson who's a real alpha, right? That person's not who you want to put behind a desk and do paperwork. They're going to be awful at it. So just make sure that you're hiring the right personality type for the position that you're looking at getting. And the other thing too that I think is quite important is that people don't pay compliments anymore. And compliments go way further than money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you understand the psychology of a sale, people make an emotional decision and then they validate it with logic to their friends and family, right? So there's a lot of people that you could give a $10,000 pay raise and they can hate you at the end of the year. There's a lot of people you could say, listen, man, I really value what you're doing and I don't think we could do it at this level without you. And that's worth more than 10 grand. And that sounds impossible, but it's true.
It's 100% true. So what a good thing is that you said is you target these high-end people. You didn't know if you were going to be able to even talk to them.
I couldn't.
Yeah. And so how did you get your foot in the door, and how did those conversations look like when you approached top talent?
Okay, well, so understanding that this is an emotional process. People don't leave real estate companies because of logic, and they don't leave because of money. Then I talked about emotional things, like every time your phone rings at 9 o'clock, your blood pressure goes up. And every time you're on vacation on your phone, your partner is rolling their eyes at you. And your pipeline is your stress level, and that's never full enough. And if it's too full, you're stressed. So it's a double. It's a catch-22.
Where's the good?
I talk to the pain points. And a lot of people that wouldn't talk to me, it's no problem. I get it. I've had a closed mind at times in my life. A lot of them come over afterwards. but those who came over early and did this well seized an opportunity. And there's some very big realtors in this town that I tried to have come over my house for dinner, try to meet up, that stood me up last minute, and I didn't take it personal. I get it, but they're still out there in the hustle and grind, and I'm getting paid residual income. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities out there, and there's a lot of missed opportunities. But when you have something as extraordinary as a disruptive platform like this, that really isn't about eXp Realty, it's about your own branding, it's about your own autonomy. You should look at it.
How do you approach the communication with these people, because you hustle? Like you're not sitting around thinking that these people are coming to you. Like if you find top talent, you go and get it, and then if they don't talk with you on the first time, like what does that look like for you? You know, you call a top agent and you found them. What are you saying? What are you doing? And how long is that process for you? When do you give up? Do you give up?
Yeah, I give up because I'm human and I'm fallible. But I don't give up as easy as most people. Well, I mean, understanding the difference between an objection and a condition is probably the first step. A lot of people are trying to handle conditions with objection answers. A condition is something that you work around, you don't overcome. So I think I've gotten a little cleaner in my understanding of that. But I stay on top of them. I mean, you're a hamster on the wheel, right? In this business, you're a hamster on the wheel. And some days you don't feel like running that fast. Or if you got sick, like, for example, if I got prostate cancer last year, my income goes from whatever it is to nothing, right?
Because you're the business.
How's that cool?
Yeah.
Right?
If you're the business and the business is only you, and, you know, it's same with consulting. Like, Danny, you're the business. What happens if you get sick tomorrow?
100%.
100% out of business. How do you scale a hero? You don't. So you need to leverage yourself.
Yeah.
And they need to leverage themselves. And we have an opportunity where instead of building tiny little fires in our backyard, we can just build one big fire and all get warm from it. Right? So if you're not a visionary and you like being comfortable and you're lazy and you're too tired or too busy to take a second, then that's no problem. We've all been there, but there's a cost to that. And I hate to tell you, but the cost is your sanity and your retirement. And you know what? Figure it out on your own. Figure it out in hindsight. Most of the lessons I've learned, I've had to learn 2 or 3 times firsthand.
Yeah. So you're building a team, you're building it fast, and you are doing things differently than most people in your industry. So how do you balance as you're growing with creating the culture and creating cohesion among, you know, a fast growing team? Like, how do you maintain that culture as you grow?
Maintain the culture is impossible because the culture is constantly changing with the infusion of new personalities, right? Making sure the culture doesn't go toxic requires good leadership. Good leadership, in my opinion, is a simple acronym that I learned from my coach, Dave Ferguson, when I hired him last year.
You got a business coach?
I hired one.
I think we hear this on every single episode that a great decision was hiring a business coach.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's not what they cost you, it's what they save you. And, you know, my business coach, among many things, taught me this acronym called LADDER, LADDER. And R is recognizing you're in a leadership position. I realized that when I was about 4 years old and I was directing all the other kids on the playground when I'm going down the slide and when they're going down the slide. Right?
Listen here, kids, I'm first.
Yeah, right? So I realized, you know, this might be part of the problematic part of my personality. Engaging and connecting is the E, right? So it's easy to engage, but it's hard to connect. And we can connect on one thing, or if we connect on 3 or 4 things, we can move mountains together. So I don't think people are connecting on enough points. D is driving results. I'm very good at that because I grew up in a blue-collar neighborhood and we work. The other D is developing other people. Is probably the only passion I have within this industry is watching people get better. It's not selling houses anymore. I'm done with that. I liked it. It was great.
Well, you did it for so long, and now
I wanted
you're
to be a rock star. I didn't
yeah.
want to be a realtor.
Well, now you're taking what you learned and you're able to teach it to 700 plus agents, and you love that.
Yeah, I do. I love it. I'd rather teach agents how to be better than just to perform. And then advance the vision, whatever vision that is, and then the legacy element of it. So if you check all those boxes and you make sure that you're screening your day through those things, I think you're able to keep the culture in line with fair or proper leadership.
So again, something I think most business owners can identify with is the process of like a team going toxic, and whether it's like a bad apple or whatever, when that toxicity starts to kind of creep into things, how do you deal with that? And I'll go with myself in my last business. So I built a business and sold it last year, and I'll be honest, there were multiple times where we had employees that were toxic, and maybe they didn't start that way, but they went that way. And I think I'm a nice person. I have trouble sometimes doing what needs to be done if it's going to, upset people. And so I've made mistakes where we'll let a bad apple hang around long enough to like spoil the whole bushel, so to speak. So how do you balance that?
No, I mean, that's honest of yourself, right? If you're not honest about your bad qualities, and we all have tons of them, you can't grow. So what you're telling me essentially is that the fish rots from the head down, right? Your inability
I feel
to
like
deal
I am on a podcast of metaphors. Like I don't have any good ones, and you guys are just crushing metaphors.
That's funny.
I'll write you something. Give me a pen and paper.
Yeah,
while we're
please.
talking. My buddy Andre Frank used to always say the fish rots from the head down. So your inability to deal with confrontation allowed toxicity to manifest in your office, and you paid the price for it. So instead of hurting one person's feelings, a lot of people ended up getting disheveled on that.
Yeah.
No problem. I've experienced the same thing. At this point, I don't have employees. I have independent 1099 realtors that are out there killing it for themselves. So I'm here to support them. I'm not here to tell them what to do. They don't need my help on what to do. Some do, right? And they'll seek it out, but I'm not giving unsolicited advice to very successful people. If I was in a situation where I was a 1099 business owner and I had W-2s or subcontractors that were dependent upon me thinking as a boss. See, realtors are oftentimes looking for a boss, but someone forgot to tell them that when you got your S corporation set up, you are the boss, right? Yeah. So if you're looking for a boss, then you're kind of looking for a coach. So go get one. Mm-hmm. Or if you're with me, I'll be your coach. I won't charge anything. I get paid in the compensation of the model, right? But if people are looking for a boss, they're looking for leadership. And leadership, in my opinion, is making the tough calls early, often and early. Because essentially, it's going to come down to the fact that they're going to respect you or like you, and respect's going to last a lot longer.
Yeah.
Love it.
Man, so Rich, you've got some great pieces of advice there. I think that resonates with a lot of business owners as far as what they're trying to do to build a team. And a lot of times they're contemplating, who should I hire? Well, go get the best.
Yeah, go for the best. It comes down to one simple thing. I can talk until I'm blue in the face, and you guys can tune in or out. I've done it. I've been on the audience side of this. The thing is that you just have to be honest with yourself. Most of you guys are not team builders. So when you put yourself in a team builder role, you're going to be frustrated. Your self-esteem is going to suffer. You're going to be dissatisfied because you're not the pro athlete that you wanted to be in another category. So just be honest with yourself. You might not be in the right position, and you should find something else to do slowly, right? But if you are gritty and you're tough and you can make it through there, and there's some negatives to those type of person. The underbelly of what makes me good is also what makes me awful, right? But if you're the type of person that can grow and that will take rejection and you can persevere, then you have to be grittier than everybody else. And it's very, very easy to be grittier than everybody else in this country right now.
So, Rich, how can people follow along with you? Are you on social media, website? How can people connect with you and kind of follow along?
They'll never see me again. I'm going to vanish like an exhaled breath. So they can't. Sorry. You can invite me back next year. I have a YouTube channel, Rich Tomasini. And if you type the word realtor after it, it'll pull up videos. So you could subscribe to that if you have a pain tolerance. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well.
I heard you like to do some really interesting videos. So
yeah. I had hooked up with Hunter Thompson, this psychopath writer that does LSD in Las Vegas. We call him Ryan Weber, and he makes a fool of me on social media. And my friends are dropping like flies on Facebook.
It's perfect. We get rid of the
I hear there's something coming out, maybe with a car. Like, what's tease that for us a little bit?
Okay, so I like cars to be in everything I can do because I'm a obsessive car collector. Actually, I'm not a collector. I don't keep anything. They just pass through me. But I have a 1975 Oldsmobile 98 Custom Cruiser 9-passenger burgundy station wagon.
And if you don't know what that is, it's like a extended. How do you even explain it?
A land yacht.
Yes. A
I
land
parked
yacht.
next to a crew cab F-150
And you were
today,
bigger.
and it was a foot longer.
Gosh.
So I've got 10 sharp dressed, handsome businessmen all doing a play on Reservoir Dogs called Revenue Dogs. And we shot it, and it's going to launch next week on Facebook. And we have over $100 million of producers in a 9-passenger station wagon talking about how virtual offices are much cooler than you think.
All right, and where do people go on Facebook to see this?
Well, if you just go on Rich
It'll be on
Tomasini,
YouTube.
It'll be on
Yeah,
YouTube.
it'll be on YouTube.
My
All right.
YouTube channel is the best way.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So
All right, cool. Well, Rich, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you
All
guys
right.
next time.
Best of luck. Have a good day.